welcome back as we continue with the MSG 150 at Home presented by Chase. Bill Pito, Alan Hahn, and Michelle Gingras. And look who we have found in his car. Former Mets manager Bobby Valentine, current athletic director at Sacred Heart University. Bobby, thank you so much for joining us. We know you're always on the run, helping people out during times like these. What are you up to in terms of how you're spending your time?
You know, dealing with coaches and, student athletes and trying to get a restaurant business back open and operating and getting an academy back open and operating has been quite challenging. There's a lot of people in need out there. I'm trying to fill the voids wherever I can and stay busy.
You mentioned filling the void, and this isn't the first time that you've stepped up in a crisis, but this one's a little different because we're encouraged to stay home, yet so many of us feel so hopeless and we want to do something. So tell us a little bit more about how you got involved with handing out masks in your community.
Well, it was a major project of about 1 million masks that were distributed around Connecticut, Masks for Connecticut. Quite a few philanthropic people got together, bought the masks, and handed them out. So, it was a little thing to do, making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in town for some people who need lunch and need nourishment, something to do. But, I'm one of the vulnerable ones. I'm going to be 70 tomorrow. And, they say, make sure you stay safe and stay separate. And I'm doing that as often as possible, too. I know the protocols. I'm not taking it lightly. And I'm just hoping and praying that the uncertainty that we are all facing in this crisis and the lack of trust and lack of teamwork will all kind of dissipate here in the near future, and we'll be clearer on what we need or can do, and the trust and teamwork will abound.
Well, Bobby, I was going to say happy birthday. I was going to leave it up to you to say the age, because you certainly don't. You have the energy of someone quite younger than 70 with all the things you've been doing. And it's, again, as Michelle mentioned, your impact, your presence through 9/11 and what this city went through back then. And then obviously right now, back again on the front lines doing what you can. Does it ever cease to amaze you as you're out and active in these moments to see how everyone around us, all the people in society, as we're going through this, how they respond?
Yeah, I can never be more proud than my fellow nutmeggers, fellow Americans, on how they rise to the occasion with their giving of their wherewithal. Sometimes it's a check, sometimes it's $1, sometimes it's an hour. But yeah, we do band together, and sports are one of those things that help people come together in thought and in process and in kind of fantasy world. And I think most of our fantasies now are dark movies and dark thoughts. And I think it's very important for us to get out of the dark thought world and get into the bright light world, and hopefully sports are going to be part of that healing process.
Bobby V, as the athletic director at Sacred Heart University in Fairfield, Connecticut, what are you doing during this time in terms of communicating with your athletes, taking kids through the summer program or whatever may be the case here with an uncertain future?
The uncertainty is mind-boggling, but my staff, headed up by Meg Miller, who's doing a fabulous job of coordinating all of our efforts from the NC2A through the NEC, which is our conference, through our school protocols, trying to prepare for something that we're so uncertain about. It is very difficult, but my entire team of administrators reached down to the entire group of coaches, and we have 32 Division I teams. We have 900 Division I athletes. So it's incumbent upon the sport administrators to stay active with the coaches, who need to stay active with the student athletes, because the more communication we can have, even though it's this communication that we're dealing with, it really helps calm the anxieties of these 18 to 22-year-olds who some miss their senior year, some miss their freshman year of spring sports, some are worried about their fall season of sport, wondering if they're going to be in a classroom or in a bedroom. And, the answers are hard to come by. We're trying to get the information to them in a very transparent way.
You mentioned just how monumental communication is during this time. You're responsible for overseeing, as you mentioned, 900 student athletes at Sacred Heart. So with safety obviously being paramount, when they're asking you, hey, what's the timeline here? When could we start to see some of these sports return? What can you tell them?
We tell them A, B, C, and D, and that we try to teach them life lessons on how leadership needs to be flexible and agile. We're trying to develop qualities in our athletes and our coaches that are going to help them in life, and flexibility and being agile is one of those life skills that you need.
Flexibility and agility are something that's important for the pro sports as they're trying to come back right now. And we just had that report that the baseball owners have now moved the proposal to the players to see if they can get that sport started up sometime in early July. What do you think of what you've heard so far about that plan, and also playing in empty stadiums?
Well, we have to get some really good hologram experts to fill up those seats with, rabid fans. We need to get the sign man out there at Citi Field, and I think the game itself will be a very good start to sport coming back, whether it's played before fans or not. I think that that 2 hours of relaxation is needed by the American public.
All right. Hey, Bobby V, we'll leave it there. Thanks so much for all that you do and your time. We really appreciate talking to you, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for what you guys do. Stay safe and keep the shows flowing. People need to hear what you're thinking about. Thanks, Bill. See you soon.
All right. Bobby Valentine here on the MSG 150 at Home, presented by Chase. Coming up, MSG debuts, including the first pro game for our own Wally Zerbiak at MSG as a member of Minnesota, when we come back right after.